gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Friends, let us all study, investigate and practice the real words of the Buddha. On every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 we discuss the original teachings of the Buddha. Tonight this Dhamma talk is number 58. We are going to discuss a very special discourse on the dependent origination. As you all are well aware that dependent origination is one of the three major principles realized by the Buddha. Dependent origination, causality, causal relation. Through this wonderful principle, the Buddha understood that the whole world, everything is interdependently existing, nothing isolatedly existing. All things, animate or inanimate, all things are interconnected, interlinked, interrelated. That is the teaching of the Buddha. Dependent origination, normally, as most people know, is with 12 links. 12 links, dependent origination. Tonight we are going to discuss the dependent origination with 24 links. This is based on an original discourse of the Buddha. This is from Connected Discourses of the Buddha, chapter 12, discourse number 23. 23.3. The name of the discourse is Proximate Cause. Upanisa in Pali. Upanisa sutta. Upanisa means proximate cause. It shows us the cause. Let's understand this discourse first, and then I want to show you a particular diagram where I want to explain you further the 24 different causes, how this interconnectedness, interrelatedness is maintaining with the support of each other. The purpose is the destruction of all defilements, all taints, to become a taints-free one, to become an enlightened one, liberated one. So taints are the problems. Taints are the most refined, subtle form of defilements. Taints in Pali, asava. Let's come to the discourse and understand further. This discourse was delivered by the Buddha while the Buddha was dwelling at Savatthi, addressing the monks, the Buddha said, "Bhikkhus, I say that the destruction of the taints is for one who knows and sees." Who knows and sees. These are two different things. Know means knowledge. Simply having knowledge is not enough. As Buddhists, as wise persons, simply having knowledge is not enough. We have to have wisdom to see through. That is what is called penetrate. That is what is called see. You see through your wisdom, through your mindfulness. You have to see through. So, know is knowledge. You can acquire knowledge, but it is not enough. You have to have wisdom to see through. Wisdom is developed. Wisdom arises when the mind is calm and quiet. That is why we have to practice meditation. So the Buddha said, the destruction of the taints is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and does not see. Then the Buddha said, for one who knows what? For one who sees what? Does the destruction of the taints come about? What is to be seen? What is to be known and what is to be seen? That is the meaning. We have to know and we have to see what is to be known, what is to be seen. One has to know and see form, feeling, perception, volitional formations and consciousness. What are these? 5 aggregates. Those are the things to be known and seen. Where we have to understand 3 things. What are the 3 things? Such is form, such its origin, such its passing away. 3 things. Referring to form, we have to understand this is what is called form. This is what is called the origin, arising of form. This is what is called passing, perishing of form. These are the 3 things to be understood. From where? From where? From the eye, through the eye, through the ear, through the nose, through the tongue, body and the mind. In the 6 sense bases. Because 5 aggregates are rising and passing all the time, constantly, continuously within the 6 sense bases. Whenever they arise, we have to understand 5 aggregates. We have to understand what is form. Such is form means this is form. Whenever it arises, this is form. This is the origin. This is the arising of form. This form is arising. You have to see that. You have to know that and see that. Then you have to understand this is the origin. This is the passing. This is disappearing, dissipating of the form. Then such is feeling, such its origin, such is passing away. Then such is perception, such is its origin, such is passing away. Such are volitional formations, such are the origin, such are the passing away of volitional formations. Such is consciousness. such its origin, such its passing away. 5 aggregates. The most important thing to understand. If we do not understand this 5 aggregates as they are, we cannot understand, cannot realize the 4 noble truths, the dependent origination, the 3 characteristics of existence, the complete cessation of karma. We cannot understand. 5 aggregates are the most important thing to understand. That is why the Buddha pointed out this clearly here. It is for one who knows thus, for one who sees thus, that the destruction of the taints comes about. I say because that the knowledge of destruction in regard to destruction has a proximate cause. This destruction, the knowledge of destruction, has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. It is not without a proximate cause. Without a cause, this won't happen. Destruction, the knowledge of destruction in regard to destruction has a proximate cause. So knowledge of destruction is the thing to be realized. What is the knowledge of destruction? Knowledge of destruction of what? The knowledge of destruction of taints. That is called kaya jnana in Pali. Kaya jnana. Knowledge of destruction. Knowledge of destruction of taints. All taints gone, the person becomes an enlightened one. It happens because of cause, because of a cause. That is the meaning here. It happens because of a cause. Without a cause, no, it won't happen. So it does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for the knowledge of destruction? How this come to be? What is the cause? It should be said liberation. Liberation is the proximate cause for knowledge and destruction. When you become a liberated person, it is a cause for knowledge and knowledge of destruction. Kaya jnana. Liberation is vimukti. Vimukti. Then the Buddha said further, I say because that liberation too has a proximate cause. So liberation also has a cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for liberation? It should be said dispassion. Dispassion is the cause. It is because of, cause means because of things. Things depend on other things. One exists because of the other. So, liberation is there because of dispassion. Without dispassion, no liberation. That is the meaning. It is because of dispassion, viraga, dispassion, liberation comes to be. Then further the Buddha said, I say because that dispassion too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for dispassion? It should be said revulsion. This term I prefer to use disenchantment, instead revulsion, but the translation given is revulsion. I always use the word disenchantment. It is because of disenchantment. You don't enchant. Having understood the peril of it, you know that the thing is meaningless, is useless. Having understood that uselessness, you think that it is no more use. With that, you come to understand and you dispassionate on that particular thing. So it is because of revulsion, because of disenchantment, dispassion takes place. And then the Buddha said, I say because that revulsion too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for revulsion? It should be said, the knowledge and vision of things as they really are. Knowledge and vision of things as they really are is the cause for revulsion. Then said, because that the knowledge and revulsion of things as they really are too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for the knowledge and vision of things as they really are? It should be said, concentration. It is because of concentration that you can see things as they really are. So concentration is that important. That is why the Buddha has taught us different methods to practice concentration meditation. We have to practice concentration meditation. Then you can switch to insight, vipassana. Concentration is samatha. Then vipassana. You have to switch. In order to switch to vipassana, you have to have concentration. You have to have a concentrated mind. Buddha clearly said this. Monks practice concentration. Concentrated practitioner sees things as they really are. That is the very words of the Buddha. Then further said, because that concentration too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for concentration? It should be said, happiness. It is because of happiness concentration comes to be. Then said, because that happiness too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for happiness? It should be said, tranquility. Means it is because of tranquility that happiness comes to be. Then, because that tranquility too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for tranquility? It should be said, rapture. It is because of rapture tranquility arises. Because that rapture too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for rapture? It should be said, gladness. It is because of gladness rapture arises. Because that gladness too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for gladness? It should be said, faith. Better use the term confidence. As Buddhists, we are reluctant to use the term faith because in Buddhism, faith faith has a tendency to blind faith. As Buddhist, we have confidence. We trust the Buddha. We trust the Buddha's enlightenment. That is the difference. So it is because of our confidence, conviction, gladness arises. Then said, bhikkhus, that confidence too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for confidence? It should be said, suffering. Suffering. Suffering should lead to confidence according to this discourse. Suffering, when we have suffering, we should develop our confidence in the Buddha. We should trust the Buddha. Only then we can understand this Dhamma, step by step, moment by moment, bit by bit. We can understand as we have suffering. Once we are born, we have suffering. Then we have to understand, to develop our conviction, confidence. We have to trust the Buddha and follow the path of the Buddha. Only then we can lead this righteous life and we can understand the Dhamma. Finally, we can realize the Dhamma. So, suffering should lead to conviction, confidence, saddha. Then the Buddha said, because that suffering too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for suffering? It should be said, birth. It is because of birth suffering arises. That is why we have to stop birth. Buddha's teaching is for that. But we cannot stop birth as long as there is an existence. Buddha said, because that birth too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for birth? It should be said, existence. It is because of existence birth comes to be. Because that existence too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for existence? It should be said, clinging. It is because of clinging. It is because of attachment. Because of grasping as mine, me, myself. Existence comes to be. That is why Buddha said, cut off this clinging, attachment, grasping. Then we can stop free becoming. Existence takes place because of clinging, attachment. Then said, because that clinging too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for clinging? It should be said, craving. Craving is the cause for clinging. Friends, all these are happening in the eyes, in the ears, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, and in the mind. Only these 6 places. These 6 places are called the world. All, what you call all means this, all, everything is here, sabbha. Then, because that craving too has a proximate cause. It does not lack a proximate cause. And what is the proximate cause for craving? It should be said feeling. Feeling. Feeling is the cause for craving. Feeling, it should be said contact. Feeling comes to be because of contact. Contact, the six sense bases. Contact comes to be because of six sense bases. That's the cause. Six sense bases comes to be because of name and form. Name and form comes to be because of consciousness. Consciousness comes to be because of volitional formations. Then volitional formations comes to be because of the proximate cause. What is that proximate cause for the volitional formations? Ignorance. Ignorance. In such a way, Buddha pointed out 23 proximate causes. Once Venerable Sariputta pointed out another, which is taints themselves as a cause for ignorance. That means ignorance, when we have ignorance, ignorance is fed by 5 hindrances on one side, and taints from the other side. Ignorance. Then it is because of ignorance, volitional formations. It is because of volitional formations, consciousness. It is because of consciousness, name and form. It is because of name and form, the 6 sense bases. It is because of 6 sense bases, contact. It is because of contact, feeling. It is because of feeling, craving. It is because of craving, clinging. It is because of clinging, existence. It is because of existence, birth. It is because of birth, suffering. It is because of suffering, confidence. It is because of confidence, gladness. It is because of gladness, rapture. It is because of rapture, tranquility. It is because of tranquility, happiness. It is because of happiness, concentration. It is because of concentration, knowledge and vision of things as they really are. It is because of knowledge and vision of things as they really are, revulsion or disenchantment. It is because of revulsion or disenchantment, dispassion. It is because of dispassion, liberation. It is because of liberation that knowledge of destruction comes to be. That is how the Buddha taught this discourse. And Buddha finally gave a simile. Just as bhikkhus, when rain pours down in thick droplets on a mountain top, the water flows down along the slope and fills the cleft, then gullies and creeks. These being fulfill up the pools. They come down. The water comes down from the top of the mountain. This being fulfill up the lakes then. Lakes are fulfilled. This being fulfill up the streams. They come to the streams then. This being fulfill up the rivers. And this being fulfill up the great ocean. The water comes down from the top of the mountain when it is pouring on the top of the mountain. That's the meaning. So too, with the ignorance as proximate cause, volitional formations, with the volitional formations as proximate cause, consciousness, like that, the whole links takes place. So that is the discourse. Now let's understand the diagram. This is the diagram with 24 links. Now here this circle shows you ignorance on one side and the taints the other side. Ignorance is fed, as I said, ignorance is fed by taints like this, and taints are fed by ignorance. That's the circle there. These are interdependently existing. That is the meaning. So the practitioner has to practice the Dhamma to understand this, the cycle of births and death. The cycle of birth and death is formed here. And this is the enlarged one. This is the enlarged of this cycle. This circle. That is called samsaric circle or samsaric cycle. So ignorance here, start from this ignorance, volitional formations, then consciousness, as we said, as we discussed in the discourse, then physicality and mentality, 6 senses, contact, feeling, craving, attachment, existence, birth. Up to this point, these 12, most of you know this. That is the famous 12-link dependent origination. From here is the difference. Jati pacchaya dukkham, jati upanisa. Pacchaya, instead pacchaya, in the 12 links dependent origination, you talk about pacchaya. Pacchaya means because of ignorance, volitional formations come to be. That is how it is said. But in this case, in this discourse, according to this discourse, we have to say it is because of ignorance volitional formations come to be. How to say it in Pali? Avijja Upanisa means proximate cause. Avijjupanisa sankhara, sankharopanisa viññānaṁ, viññānopanisa namarupam, namarupanisa salayatanam, salayatanopanisa passo, passopanisa vedana, vedanopanisa tanha, tannopanisa upadana, upadanopanisa bhava, bhavopanisa jati, like that. Now, when we have this one, birth, once we are born, we have suffering. We have suffering. This is the difference. From here is the difference. It is because of birth unsatisfactoriness comes to be, dukkha comes to be. As we feel dukkha, whenever we feel dukkha, we have to develop our confidence. That is what is called saddha. Whenever we feel dukkha, we have to develop saddha, confidence, conviction. We have to trust the Buddha, in short. We have to trust the Dhamma. We have to trust the Sangha, the triple gem. They are the gems for all of us. Unparalleled gems. Triple gem. Whenever we have troubles, whenever we have problems, go to the Buddha for refuge, Dhamma for refuge, Sangha for refuge. Why? Buddha is my matchless refuge. Dhamma is my matchless refuge. Sangha is my matchless refuge. That is how we say, Natti me saranang anyang. Buddho me saranang varang. Dhammo me saranang varang. Sangho me saranang varang. I use Pali, but I guess you can understand. Not necessarily to understand Pali, though I want to emphasize this. That is why I use this Pali, to show the importance of that. So then, whenever we have troubles, whenever we have problems, we have to go to the refuge of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Like that. Dutiyampi, tatyampi. Like that. Okay, then when we have confidence, what happens? We have gladness. When we have gladness, we rapture. Piti, jayati, piti. Rapture. With that rapture, dependent on rapture, tranquility arises. The whole body is tranquilizing, come to the state of tranquility, not tranquilizing. Tranquilizing is a different term. That is where you give injection, you inject tranquilizer. Like, this is not tranquilizing, but tranquility. Tranquility. You come to the state of tranquility because of your rapture. Rapture of the mind. Rapturous mind leads to tranquility. It is because of tranquility you feel happiness, sukha. Because of happiness, you come to the state of concentration. Your mind is concentrated then. When you have concentrated mind, you can understand things as they really are. That is what is called knowledge and vision of things as they really are. Yatha bhuta jnana dassana. When you see things as they really are, you can understand the peril of things. You can understand the meaninglessness of things. Where you do not cling to things. You do not attach to things. That is what is called disenchantment. You don't enchant. Disenchantment. Nibbida in Pali. With that understanding, the nature of things. What is the nature of things? Things come to be because of 4 elements or 5 elements or 6 elements. What are the 4 elements? Earth, water, fire, air. These four are called great elements, 4 great elements. Simply having these 4 not enough. There should be a space element as well. Space, without space, things are not coming together. Things cannot move. In order to move these four, simply having these 4 like 4 bricks, when you keep the 4 bricks together, they are quite impossible to move. That is why there should be the space element to move this properly. All material things, whatever material, all material things are formed or created with the support of these 4 elements or the 5 elements. All material things. When it is immaterial things, when it is something animate, all beings, whatever beings, they have another elements which is consciousness. The sixth element, the most important one, which is consciousness. So the beings, all beings have 6 different elements. What are the 6? Earth, water, heat, air, space, and consciousness. These 6. So when we see the objects, when we see through our eyes, when we hear, when we smell, when we taste, when we touch tangible, when we think of certain thing, what happens? We can understand the nature of it because of our concentrated mind. We can understand that things come to be because of these 4 elements or 5 elements or 6 elements. Nothing permanent. Things are not permanent. Things are ever changing, constantly changing. That we to understand. We can understand things are not permanent. It is because of our ignorance. This is the problem. Ignorance. It is because of our ignorance we do not see this. If we have concentration, if we have knowledge, then we can dissect things. We have analyzed things and understand things are changing. So should I attach to things? Then you can understand what is the use? What is the purpose of clinging to this thing? If things are changing, what is the purpose of having this as mine, me, or myself? As a permanent thing? Nothing permanent. Nothing substance in the whole system of the world. Nothing. With that understanding, you can use it, but you do not cling to things. You can use anything, but do not cling to things. That is the teaching. Nacha kinchi loke upadhyati, the Buddha said. There is nothing to cling to in the world. That is the very words of the Buddha. Friends, this is why we have to understand the very words of the Buddha. To understand the Dhamma clearly, we have to study this Dhamma. We have to do our own exploration. Only then we can develop our wisdom. This Dhamma is for the wise. So when we understand this, we disenchant. Disenchant. That is what is called nibbida, which leads to viraga, dispassion. So disenchantment leads to dispassion. In other words, it is because of disenchantment dispassion comes to be. It is because of dispassion, viraga, vimukti, liberation. Liberation takes place because of dispassion. Liberation from what? Liberation from taints. Liberation from taints. That is the knowledge of destruction, taints. Destruction of taints. What are the taints? The most subtle form of defilements. There are three types of taints. Taints of sensuality, taints of existence, and taints of ignorance. Kamasava, bhavasava, avijjasava. These three should go. Once they are gone, destroyed, the person becomes an enlightened person, enlightened one. Khinasava, the one who is completely free from taints. Taintless person. No more taints. Taints free. He is the liberated one. Here you can see the person. His body is not liberated, but the mind is liberated. When his mind is liberated, he or she, not necessarily he. Buddhism is not only for he, not only for male. Male or female. There is no discrimination. All of us can understand this Dhamma. All of us can destroy these taints and become the liberated ones. So his mind is liberated. When it is liberated, when the mind is liberated, the practitioner can understand that it is liberated. What is liberated? Mind is liberated. The person becomes a taints free, the enlightened one. Friends, this is why we want to understand these wonderful teachings of the Buddha and practice this wonderful, unparalleled teachings of the Buddha. Let's all read this Dhamma and understand this Dhamma and practice this Dhamma properly, correctly, as the Buddha said. Then definitely we should be able to realize this real teaching, realize the real peace, real happiness of Nibbana here in this very world. May we all realize this real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.